Hey. I'm Fizz Music, and this right here is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing. Excuse me, liking and subscribing as you do, please. As soon as you have a chance, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizz Music, Urban Politics. But without further ado, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive, because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. Number one, let's talk about the 2024 presidential election. Let's talk about some of the numbers as they stand right now going into that election. Now, that election is a long way away, almost a year and some change away. But people are gearing up for it right now. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go ahead and talk about what the numbers are looking like right now. They were saying Trump 49%, Biden 41%. Once again, we're a long way out for the election, ladies and gentlemen. So please, people, do not get excited by these numbers, because these numbers really don't mean much. They're just something to talk about, right? So Trump 49%, Biden 41%, 36% like Joe Biden, and 58% don't like Joe Biden, which makes sense. A lot of presidents, a lot of good presidents have found themselves underwater at different times in their administrative runs. That's just how it is. The president gets blamed for everything, things that have nothing to do with him. Things like inflation, things like gas prices end up being the president's fault, but they're not the president's fault, or anything that he can even do anything about. But he still bears the brunt of the responsibility for these things, because Americans don't know who else to blame. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? So 58% of people are not feeling Joe Biden. Trump up 43%. Now these numbers right here are with Republicans. Within the Republican Party, Trump 43%. So you know what I'm saying? That's still not half of the party, but that's a large swath of that Republican Party, right? And that's that Republican base. A lot of them have been trying to capture that. None of them have been able to capture the base, or that base that Trump kind of built like Trump, right? So Trump has 43% of them. DeSantis 20%. Now DeSantis has not thrown his hat in the ring. You know what I'm saying, to use the vernacular that was coined back in the day when people gonna, call themselves getting into a presidential race. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I forget it was a president who coined that phrase, but he has not done that yet, not officially. Now, I talked about it on the last show, about how number of different reasons he's probably not doing that. No need to start a fight with Trump now. We've got plenty of time to be fighting with Trump, and that's going to be a hardcore fight. No need to make it last any longer than it needs to be. Number one. Number two, legally, he can't even run while he's governor of Florida. So he has to either change the law or find some way around that before he can even run. So he hasn't even let that come out of his mouth. The man ain't stupid. So there's that going on. So he hasn't even ran. He hasn't even said that he's definitely running yet. But people still like him 20% in the party. And then they were talking about Chris Christie, which I thought was laughable running. It'd be interesting though, because he'd run as an anti-Trump candidate, because at this point he done came out against Trump, and he done said all types of stuff against Trump. So him and Trump would go head to head, and both of them are bullies. Both of them are big bullies. Emphasis on big. So just keeping it real. So it'd be interesting, in my eyes anyway, to see Chris Christie go up against the likes of a Donald Trump, because they're different, but both of them are scumbag bullies in my eyes. So it'd be interesting to see them two dudes who are kind of birds of a feather go up against each other. But I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't think Chris Christie could ever get anywhere near the Republican nomination, and he definitely couldn't do it going against Trump. So there's that. And Nikki Haley, she had talked about it, but that was a joke. Once again, 1% in her party. That's silly as all get out. They said just others have 10%. So that's just whoever might decide to run could probably, capture this 10%. But it looks like Trump has the bulk of the love of the Republican Party, and that's bad news for Republicans, right? So 56% say that Trump should face criminal charges. 18% said that they would still vote for him. So think about that. You know what I'm saying? Marinate on that for a minute. That means, think about it, 56% said that Trump should face criminal charges, right? He should be held accountable. But then 18% of that 56% said that they would still vote for him. Let's break that down. That means 1 in 5 say that he should face charges, but they would still vote for him. What is going on in the Republican Party? Does that make any sense? So that means that 1 in 5 Republicans are saying And I'm just saying Republican. I shouldn't say that because you don't have to be a Republican to vote for Trump. But let's just say, you know what I'm saying, for the sake of argument, 1 in 5 Republicans are saying, well, we think he should be held accountable because this is a country of laws and no one's above the law. But even with all that, I'd still vote for the guy. He's a criminal and a slime ball. He'd still get my vote. I don't know what that says about, you know what I'm saying, America, but that's where we at, right? He's a criminal and a slime ball. He'd still get my vote. Because I don't want no Democrat. I don't want no liberal up in there. This is redonkulous, ladies and gentlemen. So that is what it is. But that's something to think about. So I was tripping off of them numbers. 38% said that no, he should not run again. 38% said, please do not put us through. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden versus Trump. It's coming at you again in 2024, but 38% of people said they don't want it, and 70% of people just had no opinion. That's what you get, you know what I'm saying, with polls. You're going to have some people who just are like, kind of apathetic, but that's what politics does to you. It makes you apathetic. It makes you so apathetic sometimes it's pathetic because you get sick of putting your all into races and maybe the person that you was voting for, the candidate you was vying for doesn't win, or the issues that you think should be paramount, or that are kitchen table issues you believe strongly about, don't even make their way to that candidate's desk or to that candidate's frame of thought, it seems like, because you don't hear it come out their mouth. I get it. So a lot of people get disengaged by politics, but you can't let yourself become that way. You know what I'm saying? Because that don't help. You know what I'm saying? Apathy does not help progress at all. We can't be apathetic. We got to get, energetic. You know what I'm saying? Not to be Jesse Jackson over here, but we can't be apathetic. We got to get energetic. Some of that. Moving on, check it out. Let's talk about how, back to your boy DeSantis, and how they're rewriting and whitewashing history. Here they go again, to quote Ronald Reagan. They were trying to get a social studies book approved for use, right, in a Florida classroom, and I think this was Florida first graders or something like that. There were 3 different versions of the Rosa Parks story. Now, really, you know what I'm saying, the Rosa Parks story is the story of the Montgomery bus boycott, and I would just tell anybody to Google that if you haven't Googled it, and just, you know what I'm saying, you can go down that rabbit hole of goodness right there and you learn about Rosa Parks and learn about the young sister who really did get, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to say persecuted, but you know what I'm saying, played on the bus, and then how they took that, but they inserted Rosa Parks because they liked her background better, they liked her story better, but how she was a good face for the movement and did a lot of things to help the movement and all of that good stuff, right? So there's that. So that's a story they've been telling in high schools, in books, and in, you know what I'm saying, first grade, second grade books for years. You know what I'm saying? It's a great story, kind of the introduction into civil rights, right? So they were trying to get this book approved. They had 3 different versions, right, of the Rosa Parks story. So in the first version, they said the law said a white person wanted to sit down, a black person had to get up. So in the first version of this story, they tell in the book, and that's what they saying. That's you know what I'm saying, what they give as the reasoning for all of this. The law said if a white person wanted to sit down, a black person had to get up. Okay. Then number 2, they took it and make it a little softer. That's still too hard. They'll make it a little softer, right? So they bring it back and they says, she being Rosa Parks, was told to move to a different seat because of the color of her skin. Now, right there, at least they let it be known, like, okay, she was asked to move to another seat. Why? Because she did not have the complexion for the protection. That's cool. At least they still kept that in there. Still, you know what I'm saying, keeping the meat of the sandwich, right? Now, this is the 3rd, and this is the updated version. So this is the version that, you know what I'm saying, little kids in Florida is getting right now, or that they're about to get anyway. She was told to move to a different seat. She did not. Wow, really? She was told to move to a different seat. She did not. Like, that's it. Like, that just, just out of nowhere. She was asked to move to a different seat. She did not. And then we just go on to what? How legislation changed. And don't even talk about why. You know what I'm saying? Giving any context of why she was asked to move to a different seat. Why did she not move to a different seat? All of that other stuff. At least in some of these other versions, it gave a little bit of that, right? But then in the 3rd one, the updated version, that's when they just strip it all. You know, that's when they just take away all everything. You know what I'm saying? They just take away the whole point, the whole meat of that sandwich. They strip it dry and just give you 2 pieces of bread and mayonnaise. If you dig mayonnaise, I think mayonnaise is disgusting, but some of y'all eat it. So they just strip away the meat. They strip away the meat, leave nothing but Miracle Whip and cheese and 2 pieces of bread right there. Talking about she was told to move to a different seat, and she did it, and she did not, and she did not. Why did she not? See what I'm saying? So that's garbage. But that's the way they want to whitewash history. They want to rewrite history. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So he that holds the pen can write whatever history he or she wants to. And as you see, they want to gloss over even something like the civil rights movement. Is bad enough that this is one of the things they choose to highlight because it is pretty soft and malleable. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, and not to take anything away from the civil rights movement or civil rights leaders, but what I mean is these stories have been told so much. There's been books and there's been so much put around them, movies made and all of that, to where now, I mean, they can take that history and they can gloss over the horrible parts, you know, the gut-wrenching parts, the egregious parts. They can gloss over those. But that ain't enough. It ain't enough that they already gloss over the horrible part of our history. They just want to remove it altogether. You know? They want to remove it altogether. Can't even, I mean, come on. How about this? And the second one said she was told to move to a different seat because of the color of her skin. At least that's keeping it real. And that ain't even, you know, going as deep as it goes, but oh well, at least that's keeping it real, saying what was going on. That was too much for some of these folk. That was too much. That was too harsh. You know what I'm saying? That thought that might make their little white son or daughter feel bad or something. And then no, you know what I'm saying? Because this is history. This is something that we all need to learn. We all need to know. But then here they go whitewashing and rewriting history with this madness. She was told to move to a different seat. She did not. That is what it is, but shouldn't surprise us because once again, like I said, DeSantis, he's running for president. He ain't said it yet. He got to get his stuff together. But in a minute here, he'll run for president. He'll try to capture that Trump base. He probably will do it, and he'll do it through crap like this. You know what I'm saying? Getting legislation together that gets rid of language in this historic context that is honest to the history of what happened. You know, that's what he's doing. Cherry picking history. They're gonna go through here and just get rid of everything that makes them uncomfortable or that they don't like or that's woke. Anyway, moving on. I want to talk about this guy I saw, Bo. I don't know who this dude is. I think he's like a conservative or something like that. Here I am watching just regular TV. I ran across the Bo Show. B-E-A-U. Yeah, B-E-A-U show. I think I've seen this guy on Fox or whatever. He's a conservative, I'm pretty sure. And he was talking about, he talked about, he talked about a bunch of stuff on his show that I thought was pretty stupid. But, because like I said, that guy's a conservative, so there wasn't much he was saying I was agreeing with. But here's something he talked about that I thought was extremely interesting. He talked about legislation to make all lawmakers over 75 take a mental competency test. That's interesting right there, right? Think about that. All lawmakers over 75 take a mental competency test. Is that a bad idea? Maybe not. Because I'm going to tell you, by the time you get 60, 65, 70, come on, you're definitely not the man or woman you used to be. They've been talking about, I'm pretty sure, Dianne Feinstein, and they've been talking about how she been sick and hasn't showed up to a number of days, but I think she's 80 and some change. Come on now. That woman is old. I'm sure there's plenty of days she just don't feel like getting out of bed, and guess what? She probably just don't. There you go. But at 80 and some change, you probably shouldn't have to. With that said, we got a president that's 80 and some change, right? And then he gonna run for president again. Oh well. He claims that he's you built for the hustle. He's good to go. So I guess we gotta take his word for it. But the point being that that's pretty old. And you definitely gotta think, are people really with it at that age? We don't like it when people drive and they're over 70 plus years old. So do we want people, I don't know, running the country if they're over, you know what I'm saying, or making laws that affect, you know what I'm saying, thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, if they're 71, 72, 73, 74, is that a diss to old people? No, it is not. Just keeping it real, when you get older, things start to, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying, you lose some of the shine in your armor. That just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Your faculties start to leave you a little bit. That's just time. That's just life. You know, so like I said, that's not a diss to old folk. Yeah, the elderly. That's not a diss to my octogenarians, but it is what it is. You got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Should a person 70 plus years old be making decisions for hundreds of thousands of people? I don't know. Something to think about. Last but not least, I gotta talk about this because my time is running out. I hope it don't just cut out on y'all because my phone has been tripping. But check it out. Trump rape case. Here it goes in a nutshell. No on the rape. Yes on the sexual assault. He had to pay $2 million for that. There was defamatory statements. He had to pay 20 G's for that. Reputation repair. That's what they called it. I didn't know it was a thing. He got to pay $1 million for that. Said Trump acted with willful disregard of another's rights. He was being malicious. He has to pay like I think I write it down. Yeah, $1.7 million for that. So it's a whole bunch of money that he got to pay old girl, and he is so mad about that. He was on Truth Social talking all this stuff about it, saying this, saying that, or whatever. But basically, excuse me, what I thought was hilarious is his biggest defense was, she's not my type. What? In the history of people being accused of rape, and that's an egregious, disgusting history in this country called America, ladies and gentlemen, you have never in your life heard a rapist who was stupid enough to think they could use the defense of, she's not even my type. What it's like, well, first of all, smart guy, rape ain't got nothing to do with that. Second of all, you're guilty. Anyway, listen, I could not believe this dude would say that she's not even my type. And then he was on some show doing an interview, and then he said something about, you know, what kind of person invites a person up to their room at 1 a.m. and she's not even my type. So then it's like, time out, bro. Now you're telling the story of how you actually raped her, but you claiming you didn't rape her because she's not your type? This guy is a bumbling idiot. Like I said, I'm telling you, some of these dudes are excited to be indicted. I don't know what it is with him and some of his other little friends and cronies and stuff. I guess they feel like, you know, they got so much money, they're untouchable. This is America. I can see where they get that. But at some point, I think everybody has to, you know what I'm saying, succumb to the law. This is a country of laws. So at some point, I think the law is going to get you. Get you. Before I get out of here, let me talk about my IPA of the week I've been sipping on. It's a Great Lakes IPA. You know what it is? It is the Lake Erie Monster. This is a good beer right here. I think I've talked about it on the show before. It's one of my favorites. It is it's an Imperial IPA. It's a seasonal IPA. Let me see. Let me see. Issues a small craft advisory. This South Bay Bessie inspired brew launches an intense hop attack amid torrid tropical fruit notes. Yep, I would agree. And it is 9.5% alcohol. Delish. So if you got a little bit of money in your pocket, please run and get you a Great Lakes Erie or Lake Erie Monster. And that's by the brewery Great Lakes, which is right out of Cleveland. Delicious beer, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That is my time. I'm your humble host, Fizzhead Music. This right here is Urban Politics. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing. As soon as you have a chance, please take your cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizzhead Music, Urban Politics. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, see you around like a donut.